I seen a recent video that popped up on my feed. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, sister. I seen a recent video that popped up on my feed, right? And it was from EYL, and I have not watched the video. Seemed like the more videos that I watch from EYL, the more they start to pop up on my feed. I didn't even know they produce as much content. But it was a video that popped up on my feed, and the debate was, should you stay and buy the block up? Because remember, we had this over a few years, and where people were saying, oh, man, buy the block, buy up the block. Don't let people take your neighborhood or whatever, so on and so forth. Should you stay and buy the block, or should you move out and continue to do what's best for you and your family? This, in my opinion, is the most important debate if you really want to have it as a community. Well, why is it one of the most important debates if you want to have it as a community? Because it's hard to tell somebody what to do with their money. It's hard to tell somebody, hey, you need to, stay in the hood, or you need to do this, or you need to do that. It's hard to tell people to do that. Why is it hard to tell people to do that? Because on one hand, you don't want to give up control and power from the very people that's complaining that they ain't got enough control and power. But then on the other hand, it's hard to tell somebody not to do what's in the best interest of their family and make the sacrifice for the future. So I wanted to hear what their take is, and then I'll react to it. Again, this is the last video of the day. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
A lot of times people say buy back the block, or you left the hood. Why you left? You come back. We need to rejuvenize our neighborhoods.
Yeah,
we need to put businesses in communities. And then some people was like, for what? I'm not doing that. That's what Nipsey Hussle did, and he got killed.
Yeah.
Or that's Cam Newton trying to build in the neighborhood.
And it's not the first time
he's getting
even attacked. Yeah.
You can't jump Cam Newton. That's ridiculous. So at what point do you leave the neighborhood and never come back? Do you stay in the neighborhood? Do you stay with some level of precaution? What's the correct balance for that?
I think you got to move with precaution. I will say this too, for everyone who tries to jump somebody or a celebrity, keep your hands to yourself. I don't want this to happen.
I say that all the time.
One of y'all are going to get killed though. Try with Zach Randolph, shout out Big GD, or a few others.
Big GD.
Like, keep your motherfucking hands to yourself.
I say that all the time. Y'all know that's my slogan. I've been saying that for years. My slogan has always been, keep your hands. I said it on After Hours. I say it all the time. People have a hard time with this, and I don't know why it's so difficult. And they really have a hard time with it when it comes to people of prominence and celebrities, and I don't know what this clout chasing is, but I say it all the time. Keep your hands to yourself. It is no reason, under any circumstances, for you to initiate putting your hands on somebody unwarranted. Stop putting your hands on people. You're going to mess around and find out. I've always said that.
Me included. Don't even try. All my friends. Leave me alone. But I think, like, of course, this wouldn't happen to Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Archie Manning. Like, I don't know why this keeps happening, but I think, like, Cam needs to whoop one of them real tough, because this happened a couple times.
With Cam?
Yeah. Well, high school kids disrespecting them and talking crazy. Like, parents, I know this era is different, and a lot of this is happening because you're allowing your teenagers to talk back to you. The outside world not going to play with your kid the same way, because where I'm from, the 14, 15, 16-year-olds are killers anyway. Once they get past puberty, already think you got that shit on you anyway. 430 round to 400 round. Be careful. These is real life games.
But what would all right, so outside of that though, do you advise people going back to the neighborhood?
Yeah, you got to get back. I don't think you can never give up on where you're from, not if you're real. And a lot of times that pressure be coming from where you're from, because y'all really don't be giving back. Y'all do this shit for the photo op. If you really give it, you'll have some protection, but you got to move cautious. You can't be out there all day. Like, I'm not going back to EC and Gary all day and posting up all day. I look like food to them, but I'm going to give back.
But I also think that, all right, so I think it's a complicated.
Why do we feel like it's important for us to give back? Okay, this is where me and Ian disagree. 100%. Because in order for me to give back to something, I have had to been poured into. Think about it. Even the words itself, because words mean things. In order for me to give back, I would have had to been poured into. Right? One thing I know for sure, and two things is for certain: the hood don't pour into you; it take away from you. I don't believe that anybody owes anything back to a hood that tried to take them under. In order for me to give back, I would have had to been poured into. You can't tell me that I'm not real because I didn't control where I was born at. I don't owe. Listen, if you decide to invest, meaning that, and anywhere else, because look, I don't know anybody. I don't know nobody from other cultures that feels like they owe the neighborhood where they grew up at some sort of penance or financial thing. They just live their life. I've never heard a white person say, I need to come back and give back to this community. If the school that they grew up with or grew up in or they alma mater, they wind up becoming successful as a result of going there and the opportunity, then they come back and they give back too, because they probably never would have had the opportunity had they not went to that particular school and got the lessons that it took in order to be successful or got the coaching or whatever. But again, it's the fact that they got poured into, which is one of the reasons why they feel compelled to give back. I don't know nobody from other cultures that was born in a specific city and say, oh man, I got to make sure that I go and give back. No, that's not what they do. That's not what they do. In order for somebody to give back, they got to be poured into. And so please don't tell me that I'm not real, because I'm going to do the thing that's in the best interest of my family. And I'm not going back to the hood in any capacity. I don't even care when it comes to security. Listen, the only time you're going to catch me in the hood is if I'm trying to buy it and gentrify it and I'm looking to get a return on my investment. But it's got to be a return on investment. It's got to be a return on investment. I'm not doing it for the sake of doing it. I'm doing it because it's important for me to make a return on my investment. If the neighborhood benefits as a result of it, of course I want to be a good steward. Of course I want to be a great neighbor. But I don't feel like I owe nothing to nobody. The hood ain't gave me nothing but a headache and an opportunity to crash out.
I think it's a complicated conversation because Black people have a deep love affair with the ghetto.
I don't know why.
It's a very strange dynamic that we have that I don't think anybody else ever has. I've never seen anybody from Japan like,
the Yakuza not playing. Hold on now.
No, but I'm saying Hype Williams used to make the projects look like Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Right. And Boys in the Hood and all of these different things. It was like the glorification of bad neighborhoods is something that has deeply been embedded in our culture. And we love it. Like,
was that Hype Williams, or was that us being limited to certain areas and that's the only stories we could tell at that time?
Well, the thing about it is that, like I said, I feel like even when you make it out, there's still the admiration, the love, the respect for the worst neighborhood as opposed to the better neighborhood.
Yeah.
Right? Facts.
And even
because then, and let me tell you how backwards our culture is. If you raised in a good neighborhood, they think that that's a slight against you. If you're raised in a good neighborhood, they say that that's a slight against you. Listen, I would love to be able to have claimed a different neighborhood. I would love to have claimed a different neighborhood than the one that I was raised in. I would have loved to have raised in a much better neighborhood than I was raised in. I don't think that is real just because I was raised between 7 and 8 Mile, Norfolk and Chippewa on Green Lawn. Like, that ain't no badge of honor. I love the fact that my daughter, let me tell you something, man. My 16-year-old daughter, she drove her car down to the penthouse last night. She was chilling while I was struggle streaming. My daughter picks which place that she wants to stay at throughout the week. And then she drives to school. And the determining factor was how tired she felt like she was going to be. And if she wanted to get up early because she knew she had to drive a little bit more distance to go to the school that I designated for her. And the car that she drives is beautiful. It's gorgeous. I don't want my daughter to be from or claiming a hood. Crazy. You're crazy. When my daughter woke up this morning, they already had planned to have her car out there waiting for her. It's a fact. They call her Miss Daniels. Yeah, she did have me struggling streaming with her Bluetooth. They call her Miss Daniels. Is Miss Daniels going to be down? I said, who, my wife? Oh, Miss Daniels, the younger Miss Daniels. They walk her to her car, make sure she's safe, have her junk warmed up when she comes outside. When did we start glorifying being from a horrible space? That ain't cool. When did that be cool? I don't want to. Yeah. Where you from? Man, listen, you think you're going to shame me because I wish. I don't claim the place that I came from. I just say where I came from to give you some context on how difficult it's been to get here.
When you travel, people say travel like, yo, I want to go to Jamaica. I want to touch the hood. We've been to the hood in Jamaica and we were with our friends, but I'm not traveling somewhere and that's the first thing I'm looking for is to go to the worst place in that area.
Y'all be going to Chicago and going to O Block, y'all crazy.
Yeah, like it's not a tourist destination. Like you said, like why would you go to Chicago and just go to O Block? Because I want to see what it looks like for myself.
I don't.
What good is going to come from that? So I say that to say, I think psychologically, the first thing that we have to do is kind of move past a mindset that fully keeps us in that world, infatuated and fascinated with that.
Yeah.
And I also think that nobody has to do anything. So there's also a level of entitlement, I think, right? Because like somebody said, like I've never heard a white person say what they've done for the neighborhood.
Facts.
It's some who have though.
No, not really. So like Mark Zuckerberg, I never heard him say what he did for his neighborhood. He don't have to.
To get back to high school.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Educational, but that's what I'm saying. That's thing that's going to actually help, right?
Yeah.
Like when you're going to give back to something, they'll
I agree
give
100%
$100 million
with what Rashad is saying.
Yeah.
They'll give a $10 million check to the high school. They'll give a $5 million donation to a synagogue.
Yeah.
These are things that people want black people to be the savior for people just in general. Like, what are you doing for the hood? Well, what am I supposed to do? Give out turkeys? I mean, that's not sustainable.
Yeah.
We could do that, and we do that. But I mean, that's a one-off situation. Is that gonna fully make a difference in somebody's life after Thanksgiving is over?
I think what we're doing with the show, Market Mondays, we try to do is a form of giving back.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like I just think that we have too much pressure put on us. That's what I'm saying. Like as far as a black millionaire,
I agree.
Like you just got the money. You don't even have enough to really impact change. People, before you even get a chance to have a generational wealth, it's taken from you from expectations of other people.
Can I give the obvious pushback that I know we're going to get?
What?
We just had a fur party. We can't say that shit.
Say what?
That we can't give back to the hood.
No. What I'm saying is that nobody's obligated to.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, I don't think that's true.
Nobody's obligated.
I think if you, depending on where you're from, I think you should give back.
No. It's the difference between should and obligated, right? Nobody's obligated to do anything. Of course, every human being should want to help other people.
Yeah.
Out of humanity, right? That's how we all move forward in humanity. But what I'm saying is that it's just the pressure of somebody that makes it out of a neighborhood and they looked at as like, damn, you haven't done anything for this neighborhood. Like, well, why don't you hold your politicians accountable? They don't, like, they have more power than the celebrity. Like, what is a celebrity really going to do for the neighborhood? Even if he does millions of dollars and builds a community center, right? It still has to be run by people, right? They don't have the power to clean up the street. They don't have the power to fix potholes. These are all things that there's millions of dollars in the city budget that gets misused every single year. So I think that we will look at a rapper and hold him more accountable than we hold the mayor. Then we hold the elected officials.
The rapper is selling themselves on being from River Park or Yonkers or Chicago or St. Louis.
Because that's where he's from.
The politician. So if you're stamping this shit and saying I'm from here.
But the politician's job is to actually do something. The rapper's job is
I think the rapper's job and our job is
the rapper's job is to
entertain people. Listen, Ian is 100% wrong on this one. I don't know. And usually I'm agreeing with what Ian say. Ian is 100% wrong. Listen, just because you saying where you from does not mean that you somehow, some way have an obligation to tithe back to the place that you don't even own nothing in. Listen, man, y'all, we banging on blocks and we claiming places that we don't even own nothing in. That's crazy. Meanwhile, the politician is being paid by the taxpayers to do the thing that's in the best interest of the people that live within the city. And you got people like Tiffany Dalton that's out here using it like her personal piggy bank. And we don't put any kind of requirements on those people. When did we start becoming required to give money or to do something for people that ain't even doing for themselves? I don't know what Ian is on right now. I don't know where Ian from. That's crazy.
And make words.
I think you said, listen,
Ron,
this is my thought. You can either feed the wolves or have the wolves come to your motherfucking house.
Is Ian crazy? I don't know what Ian is on right now. Ian said either you can feed the wolves or have the wolves come to your house. Man, I don't owe you nothing. Come to my house. Listen, in my neighborhood, wolves is extinct. Wolves deserve to be in the wilderness, not in a civilized community, not in a gated community. It's a lot of barriers to entry to get to my house. Wolves die where I'm from. They starve. They're in a zoo to be watched for amusement, to understand and to study. You said the streets got to starve. The streets is made for cars to roll over.
But that's not true, because Nipsey Hussle's a perfect example of that. Yep. He's somebody that's probably one of the realest people of all time, that stayed in his neighborhood, that opened up businesses, that fed his people, that had his.
And you invest in fidelity, Anton. Look at this. Let's look at the comments. I love the comments. I love to interact with the people. You invest in fidelity, Anton. What have they done for you when you were young that helped you to get where you are now? What? Fidelity is an investment vehicle. I'm not invested in fidelity. I use fidelity to make money. And I've made more money with fidelity than I have in 8 Mile Scony land. I have no idea what you're talking about. Fidelity is an investment vehicle. As a matter of fact, fidelity has made me more money than I've ever could have imagined in my entire life. I have no idea what y'all talking about. And ultimately, it's a return on me keeping my money in that institution. I make money from being in that. What are you talking about? What has the hood done for me to help me to get to where I am? That's what I'm trying to understand. What has the hood done for me? What are y'all talking about? Jesus Christ. I know what they did try to do. They tried to rob me. They tried to take me away from my family. That's what it did.
His whole community with him every single way that he went. This is his whole brand.
Yeah.
And he got killed by somebody from his neighborhood. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna end up getting jealous. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna end up getting killed by people that you know. This is even in gang life. Like most Crips get killed by Crips, most Bloods get killed by Bloods. It's inter-violence. So it's like you're gonna have animosity and hatred from the people that know you the most.
But
you're not going.
But the community in that set different. Now I don't want to go here, but
that's anyway.
The community in the set is dramatically different.
Chinks Drugs got killed in his neighborhood in Queens, right? Nipsey got killed in his neighborhood.
Yeah.
So many rappers get killed in their neighborhood. So, all right, it's keeping it real going wrong. It's like, okay, now you want to stay around an environment that you got away from.
Yeah, I'm not hanging out.
But how is it beneficial?
No, I'm not. You can get back without hanging out all day. What Jay-Z say? I'll be not
like what
all day talking about how I'm being in the hallways all day.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
I'm not kicking it all day.
So that's so that goes back to a mindset of, I think that is building in a neighborhood productive. My answer to this is yes, with a purpose.
That's correct, sister.
Right? Yeah. Like if you want to do something and build, but as far as just staying around
and just kicking
physically being there,
not all the time. No,
like what's the purpose?
Never. Ain't no all the time.
Yeah.
Like I feel like there's nothing that's gonna happen that's gonna be beneficial for you.
Yeah.
So why would you work your whole life to get out of a situation and go back into it? It's like breaking into jail.
Yeah, I don't think you should stay there, but I think the people that are there that are just like you need to find a way to help.
Jesus Christ.
When you say find a way to help, what do you mean?
Find a way to help them get out. That's why.
But you can't help. Like for Earn Your Leisure, right? We employ everybody that we employ is from our neighborhood. You know that. We got like 20 people that we employ from our neighborhood, friends, families. We're helping them, but ultimately they're helping themselves. There's probably 50 other people that would like to be employed by us, but it's not a value add, right? So it's not a charity organization. It's not my job to provide for another grown man.
You don't have to directly give your money, but you can give opportunity, or if it's a project, okay, we're going to do this one pop-up. If you run that well, then there can be room, or information, or here's how I built this. I think there's other ways you can give. Like I try and give a combination of money, which I'm doing a lot less of, but now information. Here's how to build your brand. Here's how to start your business. Here's how I scaled. Here's the mistakes that I've made. Like, I think you can do that, but I think to not do it, and it's frustrating because, like, to be very honest, most of the people I've fallen out with were people that I helped tremendously. But I always think of when I was coming up, like, damn, I wish I had somebody give me this insight, this game, this one.
Yeah, that's called a father. I'm sorry, big dog. It's called a church. It's called the right church. It's called a father. That's called a school. It's called a lot of different things. But I am not in any way, shape, or form feeling like I'm obligated to do for somebody that I don't even know based off of the fact that we were born in the same neighborhood together.